then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup from my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
Did you use the word smart? So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe.
That isn't what it meant.
Well, what did it mean then? Explain.
It meant that it's indicative of low-resolution thinking. That is.
As far as my relationships with all people, I think I have great relationships with all people. I am the least racist person in this room.
Across this country, we've seen this new phenomenon lately, chanted at sporting events and on signs. The phrase is, "Let's go Brandon."
In case you don't know, and you haven't seen the latest polls, the American people hold the President of the United States in contempt. They hold this institution in contempt. They hold the Republican Party in contempt. They hold the Democratic Party in contempt. They think that maybe, given all of the crises facing this country, it's about time that there was some bold leadership here.
Then I have an Article 2 where I have the right to do whatever I want as president, but I don't even talk about that. $7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico. And then they have cans of soup. soup, and they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup for my family. They're so innocent. This is soup for my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people. And then isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? No. 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 Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? No.
All of a sudden, we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore.
Antifa exists.
Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Testing. Testing. Testing, 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 testing. Testing. Hello? Testing. I think it's on. Hello, folks. Welcome to the Goddamn. I am your host, the Goddammer. And I'm going to do a show. So today I'm going to get Falcon from the gosh darn chat room in, and we're going to talk about what's going on in Greece a little bit. But first, I've got some other things. There's like hair stuck in my camera setup. Look at that. Can you see it? That's right. Human hair from the Andrea Rovenski. Bidding starts at $10. $10. Send me $10 and I will send you this beautiful lock of hair from the Above It All 1412 episode stuck in the camera. So I'm going to put that there for safekeeping. Bidding starts at $10, folks. All right. So we got a show here. I'm going to get comfortable. Get comfortable here. There you go. So bada boom. Let's drink some coffee. $10. Gotta get $10. That's right. Let me get some $10. Honestly, the idea that people wouldn't spend $10 on my hair is...
That isn't what it meant.
Well, what did it mean then? Explain.
It meant that it's indicative of low-resolution thinking.
Let's be real. Does that include shipping? Yeah, sure. All right. Does that include shipping? These are the questions of our lifetime. Alright, so I have to figure out what day I'm talking about here. I didn't go to the protest demonstration yesterday. I was feeling a little sick. I had some illness that just like overtook my system. And so I missed yesterday. It happens. It's the first time, but it happens. All right. All right. So there has been 228 days straight where Elizabeth City, North Carolina, has been protesting the police shooting of Andrew Brown Jr. that took place on April 21st, 2021. They've been out there for around 230 days. This is footage from day 228. Today will be day 230. And again, The facts of the case are pretty brutal, as they've always been. 7 sheriff deputies, while knowing Andrew Brown Jr. was unarmed, traveled on the back of a pickup truck to gun him down. They shot him several times in the back of the head, which was where the kill shot was laid. Now, I say several times because Daniel Meades covered up the amount of shots he fired. He modified his magazine very shortly after killing Andrew Brown Jr. because he did not want to feel like, oh, well, what if they think I shot too much? Well, apparently, he says, and he's been saying, the murder was justified. If the murder was justified and your actions were good and moral, and you had to shoot a fleeing black man in the back of the head who had no weapons on him, you had to. What else? What other options in life is there other than to shoot someone running away from you in the back of the head? That's Daniel Meade's world. But the other killers include people by the name of Robert Morgan and Aaron Llewellyn. There are also 4 other sheriff deputies who did not fire their weapons. But also Robert Morgan. Let's talk about Robert Morgan a little bit. Robert Morgan was actually prominently displayed at the Christmas parade in Elizabeth City. The Pasquotank County Murder Department spent the tax dollars that we send them not only on paid vacation for the murderers of Andrew Brown Jr., not only on fake programs like Police to Peace or whatever, just as an excuse to change their uniforms to call them peace officers. Not only do they steal parasitically and leech off of us our tax dollars to give every person in the sheriff's department a raise, but they also wasted our tax dollars on a Christmas parade float, which prominently displayed Robert Morgan. Because what else are you going to do, right? Let's prominently parade around the murderers of Andrew Brown Jr. for all to see. Look how there's no such thing as consequences in Elizabeth City and Pasquotank County. Consequences? What? Again, if I go down to Food Lion or Muddy Waters and, just bring an AR-15 and kill someone as they're running away, that's right. So I go in, I brandish my weapon, they run away, and then I shoot them in the back of the head. Would I get paid vacation? Would I get a Christmas parade float? Chances are, and you know what I'm about to say, I would go to jail. Because guess what? There are laws in this country. It's just that they only affect everyone besides the police. Laws are just a suggestion, folks. The only thing that matters is enforcement. That's the only thing that matters. When police can go out there and kill anyone they want for any reason, they can shoot into a neighbor's house, fire bullets into their kitchen in a school zone, no consequences at all. At all. In fact, you get paid. Not only are there no consequences, you have no fear whatsoever, you get more money and paid vacation, and you get a Christmas parade only in Pasquotank County. Just kidding, actually, because this is all over the country and the world. Police all over the place love to indiscriminately kill everyone they want for any reason they want, any time they want, and they will always get away with it every single time, because this country is fucking stupid. This global system is fucking stupid. Police are fucking stupid. Does that mean we should be a lawless country? Well, as far as I can tell, we already live in a lawless country. If the law says murder is illegal and police can murder anyone they want and still walk around, we live in a lawless country, right? If only certain people are under the purview of law and other people are not, that is called apartheid. So I ask you this, is that okay with you? Someone firing machine guns in a school zone at 8:30 a.m.? Bullets flying into neighboring houses' kitchens? Is that okay with you? Because in Pasquotank County, it's A-okay. And you can get a Christmas parade. How many tax dollars are wasted protecting these murderers? What if all those tax dollars, instead of protecting murderers, went to fixing the potholes in our neighborhoods? Went to providing free medical care to people in our neighborhoods? What if all of this money that they waste on defending murderers went to mental health care, went to healthcare in general, went to, maybe feeding the poor? Possibly. Would our country be better? Would our society be better? Well, if you're the Pasquotank County Murder Department, you disagree. You want to hoard and steal all the money you possibly can and then give it to your buddies and your murderer friends and your hired assassins. Again, taxes are not optional. We cannot say, sorry, disagree with that tax code, not going to fund it. That's illegal. We would go to jail. You can go outside in a school zone and murder someone. That's perfectly fine. But saying, hey, I feel uncomfortable giving you money for that, that's illegal. Think about that. Think about that. In Pasquotank County, we are forced to pay people to kill us. That is the law that is only enforced on citizens that are not police. We are forced to give money to people that killed someone in our neighborhood, that killed someone's brother, that killed someone's father. Can you imagine that situation? Not only do you have to watch them parade around on a Christmas parade, not only do you have to watch them get free paid vacation, not only do you have to watch them get away with murder, but then you have to pay them money. You work to try to uphold this economy, and your money is stolen from you and parasitically siphoned into the people that are murdering people in our neighborhood. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. But anyway, let's see what happens with that one. After the parade, there was a bunch of candy all over the street. I guess, I don't know, but if you noticed in the footage that I was showing, I'll show it again right here. If you notice, I took a little break. If you notice, check this out. So on this windowsill, there was some candy. And you can see it right there. You can see it. Look at these frames. Look at that. You see that red there at the right? Is that visible? Hold up. You see that? That's candy. So watch me. Past version of me. Look at the candy. Oh, wait a second. Look at that. Look at that. That's right. I got some Starbursts, motherfucker. I decided, I'm an environmentalist. I care about the environment. If there's candy on the ground, securely wrapped, I don't want that. It's not biodegradable. There's plastic all over the place. I'm going to do my part for the environment. I picked up the candy off the garbage, I picked up the garbage off the street and I consumed it. So just a little side note on that one. Bada boom. So again, we're going to get a guest on here very shortly, but I want to cover a couple segments before we talk about the main subject of the show today. So let me get into that. Let me fire into these. We got some segments here, folks. So, just a little palette change. Got to change the palette. How much fiber was in that Starburst? Don't worry about that. That's not necessary for you to know. But what is necessary for you to know? In the United States of America, remember, Orange Man. We have to vote the Orange Man out. We have to. He doesn't know how to handle this pandemic. He's going to kill us all if we don't vote for Joe Biden. Remember that? Well, here's the wonderful Joe Biden administration basically saying, we give up. Pandemic schmandemic. New variants, whatever. The more people die, the less people we have to worry about testing. So here's Jen Psaki unleashing another Psaki bomb! Whoa! Because that's what the liberals love to call him. Damn, Jen Psaki's being snarky. Psaki bomb! Let's watch.
Look at what we've done over the course of time. We've quadrupled the size of our testing plan. We've cut the cost significantly over the past few months. And this effort to push to ensure insurers you're able to get your tests refunded.
Notice, by the way, that she is stumbling over her words. She is like, insurers, so we have the insurers, and then we have the testing, and we've quadrupled the testing, and then we have the insurers. They're gonna kick back and then play with the insurers, and then we're gonna have, and then the insurers are gonna be, and like we have done. Look at what we've done. We've got the insurers on the phone. We've got them on the phone. So I just called the insurer. I just got to and then they said, "Can you please do this?" And then they said no, and then we hung up the phone because we're not going to do anything.
This effort to push to ensure insurers you're able to get your tests refunded means 150 million Americans will be able to get free tests.
Complicated though. Why not just make them free and give them out and have them available everywhere?
Should we just send one to every American?
Maybe.
Then what happens if every American has one test? How much does that cost, and then what happens after that?
All I know is that other countries seem to be making them available in greater quantities for less money.
Well, I think we share the same objective, which is to make them less expensive and more accessible, right? Every country is going to do that differently, and I was just noting that, again, our tests go through the FDA approval process. That's not
So, okay. You can get a test, you can buy a test, and then maybe if you are on hold for 6.5 hours and then they call you back and then, you answer the phone and then they give you the voicemail and then you answer and then you leave and then you turn the phone off and then you go to work and then they call you while you're at work and then you can't answer and then you have to call them again when you get home and then maybe your insurance might actually possibly cover the testing later. You might get a reimbursement on your insurance plan if you have insurance, by the way, because no one in this country has insurance because this country sucks cock. Then maybe you'll get, your $4.99 back in your bank account, except actually not really because, you're still waiting on the phone because actually, and then you tested positive and now you're going to die of COVID. But anyway, so that's great. Meanwhile, in the UK, you can order 1 pack containing 7 tests every day. So, and also again, the idea that you need to pay for a test, you know what that means? People aren't going to get tested. That's what that means. Like what? You have to pay to be tested? What? Huh? That means people aren't going to get tested. That means people are going to run through with a virus, pass it on to other people, and they can't afford the test, and then they can't afford the test, and it's just going to make the virus explode. And she's like, you see we should give it up people for free? That's funny! Well, they're doing it in the UK. Well, they do things differently. What the fuck? What the fuck? So drone strikes? That's awesome. Remember when we just killed some innocent children? I think we killed 7 children in Afghanistan just like a month ago, 2 months ago. That's cool. How much money did that cost? Don't worry about that. Remember when we passed an extra like couple $1 billion for the Iron Dome, the Israeli Defense Forces stupid ass bullshit? So they could wage a fucking offensive war against an oppressed people? That's great. Billions of dollars? Who cares? Remember when they just increased the Pentagon budget? The Joe Biden administration gave them significantly more than they asked for. The Pentagon asked for something. Joe Biden was like, how about we give you an extra $30 billion free? Don't worry about it. I wonder if that, that money would be, maybe you could spend that money on free testing. Maybe, it's possible. But again, this administration is garbage! It's trash! It's shit up my asshole, motherfucker. This shit literally makes me want to scream. In fact, I'm going to. Ah! Like, I'm very upset by this. Because again, I want to go to a concert again. And the only people that are doing concerts are right-wing freaks. I want to go, to a restaurant again without feeling like I'm going to die when I get home. I want to go outside and not have to wear a mask. I don't mind wearing a mask, that's not to say that I mind, but I want to have the option to go outside and enjoy life again. I got locked in my fucking bedroom when I was 23 years old. I'm 25 now, and I just want to live my goddamn life, but it's not allowed. Meanwhile, we get to turn on the TV and boom, Psaki bomb. Look at that. What are you just gonna give us free healthcare? What? You want free healthcare? What are you, stupid? Don't you understand the economy? Silly. This shit fucking sucks. It's cock, suck, mother, fuck. Fuck Joe Biden. Fuck Jen Psaki. I hope these motherfuckers go to jail. These motherfuckers need to be tried at The Hague for gross homicidal negligence. Every single American that dies unnecessarily because of these actions should be a first-degree murder charge. That's just my opinion. Agree to disagree, or actually I disagree to disagree because that's the only valid opinion. These are homicidal, serial killer, maniac, freak show motherfuckers. That's what they are. Million Americans dead? Hold my beer. Let's get to 2. That's what this shit is. Fuck you and fuck this country. The Letter Hack's got an art challenge. You're supposed to draw left-wing podcasters. The Letter Hack, you want to come on this week and I'll try to draw you? Like, we'll have you, like, pose on webcam and I'll bring up MS Paint. Does that sound like a good segment? So I just discovered I got new leggings. Check this out. Look at this. And they have pockets. Look at this. Check this out. This is some groundbreaking technology. So I have a cell phone. Check this out. This is my cell phone. So I'm going to put this in the pocket. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that incredible? You see that? Look, it's inside the pant. Look at that. And now it's out again. Pockets. What will they think of next? That sounds awesome. All right, hit me up on send me a DM on Twitter, and that way the future version of me that is not in existence right now, that will be birthed when the show is over, that future version of me will understand what the past version of me, which is the present version of me right now, but in the past version of me in comparison in the perspective of the future version of me, that way they will remember it, which they will not as of this current moment in time. So send me that DM. At Walmart? Well, that's great. I love Walmart. So, I got my hair here. It exists, and it's not looking so good. So, I wanted to play this clip, too, because this clip sounds funny, and I saw this morning. And then we'll get into the guest segment of today's program. So we've got CEO Elon Musk saying that the CEO is a made-up title. All right, okay, let's listen to what he has to say.
How you juggle Tesla and SpaceX, and you've said along the way that the workload at Tesla is quite a lot. Have you? And I know now you could regain the chairman position. Have you thought about that? Have you thought about that? Have you thought about your...
Can I just say, I hate this guy. Everything about the aesthetic here. I mean, everything about the aesthetic here. Like, the forehead, the hair thing, where it's like, it goes up and then backwards. Like, list of motherfuckers that should not be allowed to show their faces in public. Number 1, Elon Musk.
Your title and your position there right now?
I mean, it's interesting that these titles. You know that there's actually only three titles that actually mean anything for a corporation. It's president, secretary, and treasurer, and technically they could be the same person. And all these other titles are just basically made up. So CEO is a made up title, CFO is a made up title, general counsel a made up title. Don't mean anything.
That's a nice. I think a room of CEOs are how we feel about that. Yep.
Yeah, it was like obviously just somebody's marketing experiment.
So I guess I'll be more direct. I mean, are you considering stepping down as CEO? Would you transfer, be chairman, and think about being chief product officer? I mean, since CEO title doesn't matter anyway.
I changed my title to Techno King. And by the way, this is a formal SEC filing. I'm legally a formal whatever Techno King. I just did that as kind of like a joke because just to show that these titles don't.
But anyway, I wanted to talk about this because I think it's hilarious. And it's true. He's actually telling the truth. The CEO is a made-up title, but I'm going to go even further. The whole system that we live under, capitalism, it's all made up. Money, made up. Valuation, made up. Stocks, made up. It's all made up. You know when Elon Musk says that, you can't do a wealth tax because my stocks aren't liquid U.S. currency. My properties are not, I can't give you it's all made up. All of it is made up. Everything. There is no such thing as Tesla valuation. What the, you make a car and the car goes vroom. What the fuck is a valuation of your company? Doesn't mean anything. CEO doesn't mean anything. All it is exactly as he said in this instance, a made-up marketing term just to make people feel good about themselves and to excuse themselves getting 5,000 times the amount of pay as the average worker. Right? Now, again, don't get confused here. Elon Musk doesn't say this kind of shit because he's woke, man. Look how cool he is. He's hip, bro. Yeah, that's right. I'm an Elon Musk fan. That's right. Isn't he so cool? Look at that guy. He's so with his hair. Look at that, man. Look at this. Isn't Elon Musk so awesome? Look how cool he is. This guy is so slick. No, he's not slick. He's a fucking prick. And guess what? Again, this guy is only the richest motherfucker in the world because the world is designed around him and his careers, right? He gets all of his money from his parents. That's how he got started. His parents owned a fucking emerald mine in an apartheid country where they basically made all their money off of slave labor, right, in unfair working conditions. He went to the United States, got billionaires, got billions of dollars of subsidies because he's cool, motherfucker. Look how cool he is. That's how cool he is. He gets billions of dollars in government subsidies and then cries and complains that the government suck, man. Socialism suck, man. Right? This guy's a fucking loser. He's a grade A chump. And he thinks, that's the other thing about it as well, is that people that find this guy look how cool Elon is. He's so slick. Look at wow, he's a genius of our time. You're a fucking idiot. He is taking advantage of you. He tries to give up the ghost a little bit to seem subversive so that people like you will fall for that stupid shit and then go wow, Elon, aren't you so cool? Because he understands, at least a little bit, and at least I hope so, that he understands that everything that we're dealing right now, capitalism, stock valuation, it's all fake, it's all made up, it's all make-believe, and he wants to have other forms of value. He wants to have social capital. That's what he's interested in because he is realizing very soon that the country is probably going to collapse, right? And that if he's got any hope in the world of continuing to be the most influential person on the planet, that he's going to have to find a way to manipulate people in their minds and how they feel about him. And so if he can create a rabid legion of fanboy losers that think that he's super cool and witty and subversive, then guess what? That also has value. Now, it's not necessarily directly related to monetary value, but value is value, right? Having people interested in what you have to say is infinitely more valuable than any stock valuation in the world. If you can have millions and millions of dumb fuckface motherfuckers that listen to you and think that you're a cool guy, right, then guess what? You can do whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how many stocks you have. None of that shit matters. The only thing that matters is that you suck his dick on a daily fucking basis because you're a loser and you can't think for yourself. Again, all of these motherfuckers are manipulating you at all times. You cannot be the richest motherfucker on planet Earth without manipulating literally everyone all the time. It's impossible. It's impossible. So whenever this guy tries to seem hip and cool and, whoa, man, dogs, bro. Guess what? It's a fucking scam. You're being played. You're being had. And how much of a pathetic goober loser do you have to be to fucking spend your time defending the richest motherfucker in human history? By the way, oh, what'd you do? Like, imagine you're on a first date, and it's like, oh, so like, what do you do? Like, you know, what are your hobbies? Oh, I go on Twitter and I defend Elon Musk. Oh, sorry, I gotta go to the bathroom, and then I leave, right? Because I'm not interested, because you're a fucking loser, right? Again, that's something that only losers would do. Only a loser beta male would ever even dream of spending any time at all defending the world's richest motherfucker. So again, I just wanted to talk about that, because fuck him, fuck you, and fuck CEOs. Please read the replies. Having been a CEO myself for 8 years, I agree 100%. When a founder is a CEO, it's often just a meaningless title on paper. Look at this. Lord have mercy, I can't. Anyway, there you go. That's the scoop. That's the scoop. All right, Falco, you ready, bud? They want you to ignore CEOs because they are the ones responsible for everything that goes wrong. I don't know if they necessarily want CEOs to be ignored. But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, they downplay the effectiveness of that shit, for sure. And it's all nefarious, of course. Alright, we're gonna get this motherfucker in the chat. Alright, folks. So, again, as always, we get some live production. Because, that's what I do. I don't have a producer, so we gotta do it live. Must be done live. There's only one option. Oh, there's a dog in the background. Oh my god. Holy shit. Can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you.
How's it going? I see there's a doggy in the background. You're gonna have to... Oh shit, fuck. Hold on.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Alright. I'm setting up the stream, as you can tell. So... Fuck me. See, you're the only one that gets this comedy. This is an exclusive bit. It's not a bit, actually. I just don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so...
That's fine.
See, I make people laugh. That's right. All right, so I'm gonna try to get, some video as well on the screen, which is not, I don't have that like readily ready, so I'm gonna try to do that, right now. So, I'm just experimenting. This is live experimentation. Welcome to the experimentation station, as I would say. And that, so I'm gonna try to do this, okay. So how's, introduce yourself? Well, actually, don't do that yet, because I'm not ready. But think about your introduction, like, how is that gonna happen? Like, you know, are you gonna? Like,
I have it ready.
You have it ready? Is it written out?
No, not written out, but I know how to introduce myself.
Okay, well, maybe you should write it out. Like, it could be, you know, positive learning experience to write something out like that.
That's true. That's true.
Anyway, all right. So I'm gonna move that there. I'm gonna do this. In fact, wait a second. What if? Hold up. We're about to destroy everything that I know about science. All right. What if I did this? Oh my god, that might work. That might work. Holy shit. Okay. Wow. I'm really changing the game here. This is incredible. Okay, so I think I'm good to go. Hello? Is this thing on? All right, audio check. Falco's too loud. Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna put you at 69 percentage points. Okay. Hello. Testing. This is where you got to test as well.
Okay.
Is this good?
1, 2, 3. Let's watch the chat.
Are you sure? This is way too low now. This got to be too low, unless my volume is low.
Or Miles is up.
Yeah, Mila could just be an idiot. That's also possible. I mean, I wouldn't say that that's outside of the realms of possibility. Way too low. Oh, god damn it. All right, hold up. All right, how about this?
1, 2, 3. Is it better now?
I doubt it. So anyway, while we're waiting on the audio, I fucked up my toe yesterday, and I think I talked about this, and I got like a flap of skin here. There's like a flap, right? So like, I could like cut the flap off. So if anyone's interested in a bloody, like, you know, filled with asphalt, but then also cleaned out, but there's probably traces of asphalt, flap of toe skin, bidding starts at $10. It's right here, and so there you go. But yeah, that's fine. Get on with it. This motherfucker's trying to rush me. What the hell? What the hell's going on here? But anyway, wiki bleed. All right. So so let's start the segment. I got the video, the documentary, and then I've got like that open, that window, so that we can play some other stuff as well.
Okay, super.
But yeah, so introduce yourself. Who are you? Why are you here? And what do you have to say? And also tell us more about the dog in the background.
Yes, I'll maybe try and get her here first.
Okay.
Oh, she woke up. That's good.
Maxie, you got a friend. Maxie. This is going to be great. Check this out. This is going to be wonderful. Oh my god. Look at this. Maxie, come on.
Yeah, she's not gonna stay here. She doesn't like being up on the... She likes being up on the sofa. She doesn't like being up on the gaming chair here.
Look at this. Look at this. We got dogs meeting each other. Oh my god.
She's just scratching now.
Okay, well, now I have Max here, so we're good to go. All right, so now, who are you? Why are you here? What are we going to discuss today? Those are my questions.
Yes. So my name is Falco. I'm currently living in Belgium, but we're going to be talking about an event that happened 13 years ago in Greece. I used to live in Greece, so I was there for the economic crisis and everything that ensued afterwards, including the killing of Alexandros Grigoropoulos. Now I'm currently back in Belgium for a year or 5, and here I'm a union delegate. So if you ever want to talk about that, we can talk about that as well. But tonight, as you can see, the sun is slowly going away here already in Belgium. We'll be talking about the killing of Alexandros and the events that still continue to happen 13 years later, because I thought it was a good show of how the protests sometimes truly do not die down and become a new iconic symbol. I don't know if you know a bit about the history of Greece.
Feel free to give us as much as you can, because there's a lot of people watching who might not.
So Greece, if we start around the Second World War, so there's a famous Ochi Day, which is celebrated, which is quite double, because it's the Greek government saying no to supposedly the fascists, while they were also fascists. That was the first fascist regime that you had in Greece. Then during the 60s, late 60s, 70s, you had a second fascist regime. Out of that grew the Polytechnic Uprising. And why I'm saying this is because the neighborhood where it happened is very linked to that protest. It's a national holiday since a bit, but it has been for decades National Day of Protest. And this is basically what the killing of Alexandros has turned into now as well. So it's a complete month, actually. It's called Black December in anarchist circles internationally. And Black December was created because of the killing of Alexandros Grigoropoulos. So the protests grew into an international movement of resistance against the system.
Okay.
So why I'm prefacing it with that is because their society is very polarized. It's very common for youths there to go into squads, to be politically active. Everyone talks politics there because they did have fascist regimes 2 times. So it's that's part also why you see such violent protests all the time, because the state repression is as repressive as it can get. During the 2008 riots and everything afterwards, I think they were the world leader in using tear gas during protests. So it wasn't a good move to kill a 15-year-old because now it's become another means of rallying people, and they do it quite well.
That's the lesson that, like, protesting these things, especially for 13 years in a row, really gives off. Like, if you kill someone unnecessarily, especially a kid, like, it's going to be, like, so expensive, and it's going to be such a headache, to deal with the reaction to that you got to, like, stop it from happening, right? Because, like, now they're in a situation, it seems like, where they're just, they're going to have to clean up the mess of this mistake for probably the rest of their lives. And it's just kind of morphing into something that, is much greater than what it was before. And that's the idea that, like, the protests are trying to get across. It's like, you got to stop killing people for no reason at all. And this is, like, happening internationally as well. So, like, tell us more about, like, what happened to the kid here and how that...
So on the 6th of December 2008, there were 2 special guards of the police. That's a special division within the police in Greece, and they got into an argument with some kids. That's basically what started it. Drove away, got into a verbal argument again with another group. They were told to disengage at that point. They were told to leave the neighborhood and stop. They did nothing of the sort. They parked their car 2 blocks away, stepped back to the group of youths, and at 9 p.m. after a verbal argument, one of the police officers, and 1 second because I don't want to butcher his name, Epaminodas, that's not an easy Greek name, Korkoneas, fired 3 shots.
This is why I have you on here to pronounce the names. Like, the storytelling's good, but the name pronunciation, that's the main catch here.
Yeah. And so he fired 3 shots, which they said at the time were warning shots. He fired 2 into the air and 1 to the ground. That was the official explanation. Afterwards, in the court investigation, they decided he was such a fucking lousy shot that he didn't shoot warning shots. He shot at Alexis, hit a bollard, it ricocheted, and still managed to hit his heart. And he died almost instantly. And if we're gonna play the video of the killing itself, you'll hear that they're shouting for an ambulance while the police are just casually walking away. And then once they got to their car, they basically drove away, said they were still involved in an altercation with 30 violent anarchists who were throwing rocks and bottles at them. There is also in the recording, at a certain point, you hear Central Command, which previously had told them to disengage, say that they need to contact them, they need to get them on the phone, not the radio, and they stop the recording with no record. And that's when they have to pick up the phone and call them with their cell phone to discuss what happened. So they, from the get-go,
like, did they, like, so what it seems like is they, like, the cops were not, like, in order to walk around with guns, right, and to enforce the law, you need to, like, you know, have, like, a reasonable temper, right? So it seems like they just got personally upset and got mad and decided to kill a child just for entertainment to blow off some steam. And then ever since then, it's like, oh shit, uh-oh, and then just trying to cover it up as much as possible. So yeah, I do have this, you said it's like a 15-minute, well, the video's 12, documentary-ish about the whole situation. I'm gonna try to share that with you, and then we can go through that if you'd like.
Sure, and the beginning part is the actual video a bit enhanced, and then what I sent you from 4 minutes 30 to 9:30, I think, is from the shooting. Everything up to the shooting. I think it's the whole event, because there's some other stuff in there as well. But
so would you want to start it at like 4 minutes or something?
Start in the beginning, because the actual beginning is the actual shooting with subtitles.
Okay, I'm setting this up right now, so give me a second. That way you should be able to hear
see it.
You can see it. Okay, so now I have to do something to fix the stream layout. I am very unprofessional. This is what happens when you're unprofessional. Just give me a second here. Give me a second. I did not properly. Well, let's just be honest. I didn't properly do anything. Let's just be real about this. I'm a piece of garbage. So let's just be honest. Let's be open. Let's be real. Let's be clear. So how's the dog doing?
She's fast asleep again.
Okay.
I can always tell because she snores really loud.
Yeah, Max snores too. It's pretty great. All right, so I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay, so all right, so I've got this video open, and our faces are still, I mean, it's not, there's some black space, but oh, look at that black space. It's going to drive me nuts. And then now the scrolling text is invisible. I'm going to lose my mind. All right. So we've got this documentary here. So you can tell if you want me to pause it or whatever, feel free to, and give me an info dump. Feel free to let me know. So let's just give it a shot. Let me know if you can hear it all right and everything, and we'll go from there. There's noise outside. I don't know if that's audible.
I could.
That's bad if it's audible.
Those were the shots. You can see him walking away now, casually back to their police car.
How's the audio on the stream, by the way?
So if you can pause it here,
yes,
and you can skip maybe to 4:30, and then I think you have the whole thing. Because here they included some essays that he did for school and stuff like that. Here is okay, I think, yeah.
Okay.
So they reenacted basically what the radio recordings showed.
Okay.
Κάτι έτυχε στη δουλειά, φάντασης, εγώ θα αργήσω λίγο.
Call his wife.
Say that again?
First thing he did, call his wife.
Okay.
I'm gonna be a little late. Something happened.
All right.
Το όχημα εξαρχείων, Ζωοδόχου και Ναβαρίνου. Με αναρχικούς δεχτήκαμε επίθεση.
This is where they said they were attacked by 30 anarchists.
Πού δεχτήκατε επίθεση. Όχημα εξαρχείων. Όχημα εξαρχείων. Μας λαμβάνετε. Απαντήστε μας.
Κέντρο, δεχόμαστε επίθεση.
Πού είστε όχημα εξαρχείων.
Ζωοδόχου Πηγής και Ναβαρίνου.
Από πού δέχεστε επίθεση, από την Ναβαρίνου. Να αποχωρήσετε. Πώς μπορείτε να αποχωρήσετε από το σημείο.
Είμαστε Χαριλάου Τρικούπη τώρα.
Ειδικό όχημα εξαρχείων.
Καταλαβαίνουμε. 1-4, 1-4. Έχετε απεγκλωβιστεί όχημα των εξαρχείων.
Όχημα των εξαρχείων έχετε απεγκλωβιστεί.
Οικείο κέντρο, οικείο κέντρο. Μεταβαίνουμε προς το οικείο τμήμα κέντρο.
Και παρικοί που πάγαιναν κι άλλα πουλιά τους λένε. Δεν είναι κρίμα κι άδικο παρά.
This is part of an actual essay by Alexis for school.
Okay.
What you're hearing now is part of an essay that he wrote for school.
All right.
Πεθαμένους.
Άκουσε Κωνσταντίνα μου τι λένε τα πουλάκια. Τους περπατώνει ζωντανή με τους απεθαμένους.
Απρίλης είναι και λαλούν και Μάης και βολεύουν.
Φοβούμαι αδερφάκι μου και λιβανιές μυρίζει.
Εχθές βραδύσε πήγαμε πέρα στον Άη Γιάννη και θύμιασέ μας ο παπάς με περισσό λιβάνι. Και παρεμπρός που πήγανε κι άλλα πουλιά τους λένε. Για ιδέες θάμα και αντίθαμα που γίνεται στον κόσμο. Τέτοια πανόρια λιγερή να σέρνει ο πεθαμένος. Τ' άκουσε πάλι αρετή και ράγισε η καρδιά της. Άκουσες Κωνσταντάκι μου τι λένε τα πουλάκια. Άφησα αρέτη τα πουλιά και ό,τι κι αστέλας λέγουν.
1-13 μαζί μας παρακαλώ πολύ. 1-13. Ειδικό των εξαρχείων στο οικείο. Προς το οικείο κινείται. Ποιος σταθμός διαβίβασε. Ο ειδικός σταθμός κέντρο. Όχημα εξαρχείων. Το πρώτο όχημα απεγκλωβίστηκε από το σημείο. Προς το οικείο κατευθύνεται. 1-4.
Είμαστε στο οικείο τώρα.
Ελήφθη. 1-13 μαζί μας, παρακαλούμε. Όχημα
Here they
εξαρχείων.
tell him to contact them. 113 is the code to contact them. And then you'll see in a second he's going to tell him contact me on the phone. No record.
All right.
This is court's transcript. This is a transcript from the radio that they subpoenaed.
Right, and so like that's the official record, and they knew that this would be the official record, so they're trying to subvert what's happening in real time because they knew that they fucked up, plain and simple.
Yeah, exactly.
Διαβιβάστε στο όχημα.
Όχημα των εξαρχείων επικοινωνήστε μαζί μας. Παράκληση.
Ελήφθη.
Όχημα των εξαρχείων.
Διαβιβάστε μας.
Ενεργήστε παρακαλούμε πολύ. 1-13 μαζί μας τώρα.
Επικοινωνούμε κέντρο.
Επικοινωνήστε τηλεφωνικώς. Εκτός καταγραφής.
It's incredible to me that they're just saying, yeah, like, it's one thing, like, call me on the phone, like, here's an excuse. It's another to say, yeah, call me on the phone so that there's no record of this, I say in, like, something that has an official record. Right? That's just fascinating. That's just fascinating.
Mind you, one third of which is a very conservative estimate, voted for Golden Dawn, which is straight up a Nazi party, which has now been banned. So they're not the smartest or the sharpest pencil.
Absolutely.
They're cops, so they're gonna be idiots.
That's true.
Ένα 13. Κοινωνήστε τηλεφωνικά.
Το ειδικό των εξαρχείων. Διαβιβάστε. Είστε στο τμήμα κι εσείς. Το ειδικό είναι στο ΑΤΑΦ εξαρχείων. Όχημα εξαρχείων. Όχημα των εξαρχείων, επικοινωνήστε μαζί μας. Όχημα εξαρχείων.
Κέντρο ενεργούμε 1-13.
Ενεργήστε.
You can stop it here if you want.
Sure.
So that's what happened after the shooting. You can see the time scale also. So now they went back to the actual shooting, which was at 8:45, and they called in at 9:01. They called in that they were being attacked. So that discrepancy also they didn't figure out because their car was.
So they basically killed him. We're like, uh-oh, what do we do about this for 15 minutes? And then they called the station and said, help me! As if the interaction is still unfolding, which it's not true because it folded 15 minutes prior. And then they're just trying to, like, you know, delay as much as possible, think of something to say, and then, like, say it off the record and then try to cover it up. Okay, explain where we should go from here in the storytelling.
Yeah. So on the same night, as I mentioned before, this was in a neighborhood of Exarchia. Exarchia is the center of Athens for squads, resistance movements. It's always been since the aforementioned Polytechnic uprising that I said, which also, that was during the junta. They literally rolled tanks into the university, drove it over the gate, killing the people that were hanging on it. There's an estimate, because there's no records, because they were a fascist dictatorship at that point, of 30 to 60 people. So that's in the 70s. That caused the neighborhood of Exarchia to become very agitated, and it became even more a center of resistance. And this is in that neighborhood, which is famous for its squats and all types of social movements. So what happened? The same night the protests started, and I'll quickly give you the time scale. 6th of December until mid-February. Every day they were protesting. They occupied union offices. They squatted TV buildings. They hijacked live broadcasts. They did everything conceivable to make them pay, and that was literally like the sentiment at that time. Like, we are gonna fuck shit up because you killed one of our own. You killed a 15-year-old kid for the mere fact of being an anarchist. So now we're gonna fuck shit up. And so the night itself, it started. It was mostly young people and the local squads that were doing it. Then on the 7th, there were massive street parades. The 8th, more organizations started to join in. And now, to roll it further into what we are now, we can maybe show some video later on of the protests that happened.
I can
yesterday.
put that on right now as like a B-roll.
Yeah, sure.
All right, let me do that. Which video would you say is the best out of the ones you sent me?
1 second. I'll see ones that I sent you.
Just like repost it so it's easy after me.
Okay. I'll check. Yeah. This one. It's a 3-minute one, and it's a bit of a mix. there will be violence against inanimate objects. I'm just warning people because I know they might be frightened by it.
Trigger warning on this one. All right, so explain to me, like, what is this turned into for, like, the last couple of years, including right now?
So what we're seeing now, this is a normal. You see massive protests on the streets. They always come very well prepared. You can see the flagpoles are broomsticks. They know how to form a line. They know how to get the cops out of a situation. So it's always very, 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 very violent. And basically, what it has rolled into is an annual commemoration protest that they do, as well as on a larger scale. It's called Black December now, and Black December in general is, and I'll give the communique. So it's part to remember, of course, anarchists that are being assassinated by cops, are dying because of state violence, but it is as much as a like an active fuck shit up month. They literally have a month of action, and they try to do it as international as possible. When it was still in, like, up until 2015, every year there would be demonstrations in Brussels at the embassy, in London, in there. I can't tell you how many places have been occupied. And now it's kind of died down a bit internationally, but in Greece, every major city will have protests and will have clashes with the police. But this is also, as I said before, the police there are not that nice, well trained, and have a lot of means at their disposal. So what you're seeing now is a normal protest. This is not that violent.
Let me ask you this. So, like, what are there demands per se? Like, you know, like abolition of the police departments, you know, like reparations for the harms that have been done? Like, what exactly, like why isn't the state capitulating at all? Like, why do they feel like this is, like, you know, something that they can just keep doing indefinitely?
So then we have to get back into the history a bit. So here, like I said, I'm a union delegate. I'm part of our socialist union, and we're practically the polar opposite of what the actions are in Greece. Because in Greece, they are so good at organizing, so good at if they do a general strike. While I was there, I was living on an island. I couldn't get any food because even the boats weren't going out. Like, the country was paralyzed. And if you see what they achieved with it, basically nothing. Because that's how the state reacts there. They just don't budge. They don't care. They do not care. It's a very politically corrupt country. The few have a lot of power. The big business owners, big politicians, just basically rule over the heads of the people. It's the same that you see with the economic crisis. It's the same that you see with the police killings also. They do have demands. They are just never met. And also because the local socialists condemn these protests at every step of the way.
So what do you mean by that? Like the elected officials, or?
Yeah, so at the time, the leader of Kappa Kappa Epsilon is their communist party, came out on national television and said that the rioting and looting were violent anarchists who were trying to abuse Alexis's killing, while Alexis was an anarchist, and they are reacting to the killing of one of their own. Again, I can give you so many examples of how well the people are organized there. There were massive killings by Golden Dawn. Like seriously, every few days you would hear, oh, another immigrant got stabbed to death. They organize motorcades. They went out with hundreds of mopeds, parading around the streets in Athens to protect these people. They started squatting more and getting them inside, just because it was so dangerous out on the streets for them. And this is, as you can say in the States, a lot of cops are right wingers. A lot of cops are pro-establishment, pro what they need to protect because they believe in the ID, and this is very much the case in Greece, very much. So the point I'm trying to get at is, it's in some sense, no matter how fierce you are in Greece, there's not much that you reach as an end goal, because there is no budging. They do not budge. Not on the. Go ahead.
Yeah. So okay. So the local elected like so-called communists are against the demonstrations because they feel like it's too violent and you got to go through the system. So all right, so I ask you this: what has the elected communists and socialists, what have they done that like would give anarchists like any sort of reason at all to listen to them?
So nothing. That's the one
all
word
right.
answer.
Okay.
And after this, you had Syriza, which came into power with Yanis Varoufakis, very famous economist from the party. Mind you, Kappa Kappa Epsilon protests like this. They do the exact same. So it's quite funny to see them condemn this because, Kappa Kappa Epsilon during like the early 20th century had their party leaders banished on an island because they did a coup. So I really don't get it where they get like, oh, this is not okay and we're not going to support this. And then Syriza, a more moderate coalition of left parties, came into power, and during that time they cracked down even more on the Exarchia neighborhood. So I guess it's kind of the same as we can say now with Biden in the States. Like, yeah, you have the Democrats now, but life isn't fucking improving.
Biden, one of the first things that he did was he tripled police funding for local police organizations because, they all got defunded, even though, like, there was, like, 3 cities that, like, slightly reallocated some funds. That means, we just got to triple all local police funding because, ? Why not?
Exactly.
So it seems to me that, like, Greece is right now, like, in a situation where, like, it's either that the left coalitions or, like, the communist coalitions are either controlled opposition outright, or just, like, they've lost the plot, or they're just so, obsessed with their own, like, kind of, like, personal project. It's like, I'm the leader of this party, and I want to leave a legacy of something, and ? Right? And so, like, but outside of that, like, what do these demonstrations gain? Like, are like, you said that before that, that they're dying down in some capacity. Is that, like, just like they're dying down with, other kinds of people? Are they growing in their organizations? Are there, like, anything, like, any tangible gains that they have made, even if it just comes to organizing?
Yes, because that's the I went to a protest when I was in Greece once against Golden Dawn, which I didn't know was happening because the Golden Dawn leader was coming to the city I was living in. They knew 2 days before. In 2 days, they got 6,000 people to be there. Not even a full 48 hours. That's Greece and organizing. It's insane.
That's really good. All right.
They mutual aid projects. They had like national networks of redistributing food, and this is all not state-run. Anarchists, communists, I just engaged people in general. They really do have this attitude of self-organizing in a lot of respects. At the same time, it doesn't give them a lot of political power because power is very much consolidated there. And I think I hit the nail on the head. I think once people get into politics, it's the same as we see everywhere. They guard the status quo, and they don't want to be too extreme, or they don't want to sound too extreme, mostly because of their own political career. So to that point, I always look at the ecological catastrophe that we are facing, and how much politicians are actually standing up and doing the right thing, which probably they know is going to cost them their position, but you should do it. If you're really there to help the people, then speak up, put your foot down. And we don't see that happening. And then to the second point, again, with the organizing, they have learned a lot. They are constantly learning because I think the oldest squad that they evicted was 30 years old. Our 30-year-old squads here in Belgium have been gone since I went to one of the last squads in my local town here right before it got evicted. That doesn't exist here anymore. So they're very organized, but they're not politically powerful, I think is the one sentence answer I can give to that.
So I've got another question on this one. So if they can organize thousands and thousands of people at a moment's notice, is there necessarily like armed resistance in any capacity? Like, I don't know what the specific gun control situation is in Greece or whatever, but is there any form of armed resistance, or is it just kind of like, dodging and weaving?
So one of the guys who was there when Alexis got shot, one of his friends, you have I don't know if you know the term insurrectionary anarchism and the delineation there.
Feel free to describe for those that don't know.
Yeah, so insurrectionary anarchism is very much what traditional anarchism was, propaganda of the deed, and they don't shy away from stuff that is illegal. They view expropriating goods, which is, for instance, something that happened quite often. They would rob stores, burn all the money, literally empty all the tills, burn all the money, say to the cashiers, we're not going to harm you, we're just here to get the stuff we need and to take the money and burn it outside. And that's how they got goods to redistribute it to the poor. They just fucking robbed the store. And that's insurrectionary anarchists are quite common in Greece. And to come back to Alexis' friend, so he got radicalized because of that, as you get when one of your best friends gets shot, and he was financing his own private cell by robbing a bank. So they do not shy away from stuff like that. It's not like vast majority of anarchists do that there, but no, there is a more armed resistance, but it's not in the sense that you would. It's more not shying away from criminality to fund their stuff that they want to do. There was a famous example also of bomb letters being sent by cells of fire, they were called. So yes, there is a concerted effort to do attacks on the system as they view it. And to that point, what you see also in the protests, and what I can attest to personally when I went to protests there, you see them smashing shit up everywhere. If you walk around in the street, most of the buildings that are smashed are banks, big department stores, lawyer offices, real estate offices, state buildings, state schools, stuff like that. they, in general, do not smash up the little guy's shop. They are very conscious about that, but they know it costs the government a lot of money to keep dealing with this, and that's something that is very common, very widespread. But you do have the even more radicals among them that are for armed resistance and.
So okay, my next question would be like, are people often like, you know, so let's say December is like a month of radical resistance and protest. Like, what do the other months look like? Does the state just like, you know, say like, do they prepare the whole year? Do they try to arrest and detain leaders? Do they try like what like? How does like what does the state retaliation against this outside of December look like?
Constant, yeah. They try to every step of the way. They try to get leaders of the or there is a concerted effort to clean up the neighborhood of Exarchia. They want to gentrify it. Now the new mayor, the new mayor is really cracking down on it. But that's, it's pretty common. State repression is 24/7, and like Black December is their action month. But anything that happens always gets a swift response in many cases. And like here, I'll draw the comparison again with how we demonstrate here, and especially with the union. We have to declare that we're going on strike and we're doing a march, and I was with some friends there, and I start explaining this to my friends in Greece, and one of the guys, which was from Kappa Kappa Epsilon, looked at me and he said like, dude, you asked to protest? What's the fucking point?
Right.
And I was flabbergasted. I couldn't give him a response. Like, yeah, I've been thinking this all along as well. Like, what's the fucking use? And they just go out and do it. And they're like during the economic crisis, what I alluded to before, that I couldn't get any food on an island because even the boats weren't going out. That was weeks and weeks that they were blocking major highways, blocking major ports. Public transport was dead in Athens, and that was sparked by one little thing which grew and grew and grew. So shit can kick off there in any fucking moment if it's hard enough state repression, or if the new economic measures that they put in place are repressive enough, the response is going to be according to sides. Let's put it like that.
Okay. So I've got probably one more question, then maybe we can wind down. How does like the general population of like, you know, like the average apolitical kind of person, like how do they view like Black December and other sorts of like these kinds of actions and demonstrations? Like do they benefit in any way? Are they like, you know, like Americans in the sense there's like, oh, those rioters running through the streets? Like what is the overall consensus among the general population?
Overall, if you're not talking to anything further than center right, they're quite supportive of it, or at least they will not condemn it. Like, okay, the right wingers and the big cats that are there, the big spenders and stuff like that. Sure, they don't like it because their shit's getting smashed up. But the normal guy in the street, no, they full on support most of this. And I'm not gonna say that they vastly support it because it's an anarchist being killed. No, but it is way more common than we would have, me in Belgium or you in the States. I think it would be the same. From the moment a pebble is thrown at a cop, it's a bad protest. That's not the case in Greece. There will be nuance, and they will maybe say like, guys, been 13 years. Do you still have to smash everything? There will be that sentiment with some people, I'm sure. But in general, when I was living there in the years that I lived there, and the amount of protests that I have seen, I have heard very little condemnation apart from maybe my boss at work or something like that, which owns 3 hotels and stuff like that. So those people tend to not like it, but yeah.
All right. So is there anything else you think that should be known here? And also, I appreciate the segment. This is pretty good.
No, I think we went over it quite decently. If there's something else you want to talk about.
Well, I would say, like, if there's any other things you want to send me throughout the month, like if anything happens that's like, newsworthy or something, now that I've got this primer going on, I can easily jump into that. So, like, keep me posted, and I'd be 100% down to, like, maybe at the end of the month do, like, another one of these where we talk about, like, how it went and all that kind of stuff. And if there's any sort of other things that are, like, like right now, like, if there's, like, something going on, like, right now, and you can post it to me for tomorrow's show or something, I'd be down to keep up with that. But overall, I think this is a good segment.
Yeah, thanks for doing it. I really appreciate it. And I think we'll see how it develops. Sometimes it's more, some years are more heavy than others, but I'm keeping an eye on it anyway. So if something pops up, I'll show it.
All right.
I'll share it with you.
All right. So again, thank you for popping on. And also pet the dog, please. Before this ends, you have to pet the dog, like on camera. Like, I need it right now. Like, this is required.
Dutch. I'll see if she likes it more now, because she doesn't like going up on the chair here. Hi, Dutch. Agora. Dutch. No, she doesn't want to.
Well, there's some pet action going on. Thank you so much. And that'll be it. Do you have any final words?
Smash the state and ACAP worldwide.
There you go. All right. Thank you. All right. That's the show, folks. That's it. It's over. It's done. It's done. I'm going to hang up now. It's done. It's over. It's done. It's done. Wait for it. Hold up. It's over. Is this on? Anyway, that was pretty good. Thank you, Falco, for popping on that one. I thought that was a good segment. But anyway, that's the show for today. Thank you all for watching. Solidarity with those in Greece. And I am going to go eat breakfast because I'm a human being, and well, I guess it's lunch, right? Like, I don't know. I don't usually eat breakfast. Well, I always eat breakfast because when you think about it, what is breakfast? Well, it's breaking your fast, right? So I haven't eaten since yesterday, so I'm technically fasting. So I'm going to break my fast, but I'm going to do it at lunchtime. And so thank you all for watching. And that's it. That's all I got. It's done. It's over. So that's it. That's everything. I have nothing else.
And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup from my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
Well, you have to understand, the first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter They were chanting, pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon.
$7 million for reef fish management. $25 million to combat Asian carp. $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico. Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? No. Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? No.
That isn't what it meant.
Well, what did it mean then?
It meant that it's indicative of low-resolution thinking.
$7 million for reef fish management. $25 million to combat Asian carp.